If you have hip pain and you have flexible hips, or you've been told that you have hip dysplasia and that you need surgery to fix your painful hips, then this video is going to help you. I'm going to take you on a follow-along workout that will help you build strength in your hip muscles so that your hips feel more stable, secure, and comfortable. And I'm going to show you an exercise that is vitally important at the end of this workout that's going to help you build strength in your backside and down the back of your legs so that you are able to feel confident when you're lifting things and when you're going through your daily life. If you have unstable hips, it's important to remember that stability comes from your muscles. Your bones don't position themselves in space. Sometimes surgeons will say that your hips are unstable because the socket is too shallow. But remember that the shoulder socket is actually way more shallow than the most shallow of hips. And yes, it can even bear load if you go upside down into a handstand. The follow-along workout is actually one of many from the Healthy Hips program, and I encourage you to check that out. I'll tell you more about it after we get started. Here we go. The tools that you're going to need are an exercise mat for lying on the floor, ankle weights, a dumbbell or a kettlebell, and a bench or couch and a step to hang your heels off of. You can do the whole routine 1 to 2 times depending on your schedule, physical tolerance, and desire. Let's get into it. Let's go ahead and get started with the bird dogs. We're gonna be on your hands and knees. You can use a mat if you need it. You're gonna take one arm in the opposite leg and lift. So 60 seconds is on the clock. Here we go. Take your time. Remember to keep your abs engaged. Lifting and lowering at your own pace, trying to minimize any kind of twisting and wobbling. Keeping the abs engaged, keeping your stance arm firmly pressed into the floor. You should feel your abs, you should feel your arm, you should feel your hamstrings, your glutes. You should all be working to keep you stable. Keep your head and neck in line with your spine. You don't want to be drooping it super far down. Just nice and controlled. If you want to make this easier, just don't go as high. If you want to make this harder, you can go higher. And nice. Go ahead and take a rest, and we're going to switch sides. And let's go ahead and turn around. We're going to have your opposite arm, opposite leg. When you're ready, here we go. Lifting up, keeping things under control, keeping the abs engaged, rib cage down at your own pace. Remember, you can always use strong breaths, those strong exhales to help you find those abdominal muscles. Again, only go as high as you can go without losing control. If it's low today, it might be high next week. Just take your time. If you want to make it harder, you can explore making some shapes, drawing some squares, circles, whatever it is. Good, we're almost there. And relax. Nice job. Let's get ready for the side lying leg lifts with your hips flexed. You're gonna be in this position. Use an exercise mat if you need it, and a pillow or cushion on your head if you need it. 60 seconds, we're gonna be lifting and lowering the leg. Make sure you feel the outer hip muscles working. If you don't feel the outer hip muscles working, and you feel something else cheating, then just reduce your range of motion and try to feel some fatigue happening in the outer hip. And once you get that, you can keep expanding your range of motion.
Feeling those muscles working. Keep the abs engaged. You're trying not to arch your lower back. You don't want to flare your ribs while you're trying to put in more effort. You want to focus your effort into your butt muscles. Nice and slow and controlled. If you want to make this harder, you can always use an ankle weight on your ankle and just gradually build up to a heavier and heavier weight. Nice job. And then we're going to take a little rest. We're going to switch sides. Again, in that same position, hips flexed, meaning this angle is smaller. Top leg straight. It doesn't have to be locked, just mostly straight. Stabilize yourself with your hand here. And then 60 seconds on the clock. Here we go. Just lifting and lowering with control, feeling those outer hip muscles. Again, just find the range that you can control. Keep the front of your rib cage down. Feel for those muscles back there working. You can experiment a little with being more rolled forward or rolled a little more back. See if it makes it easier or harder. And over time, you can also change the angle a little bit. Be a little more extended or a little more flexed. And nice job. Go ahead and take a rest and relax. So let's get started with the side lying adductor lifts with hips flexed. You're on the edge of your surface, this leg in front, and then you're gonna be lifting up towards the ceiling. Nice and slow and controlled. You wanna get as big and full a range of motion as you can. Make sure your abs stay engaged. You shouldn't feel this in the low back. Make sure the surface you're on is supportive enough that you don't feel like you're hurting your lower back. Slow and controlled, pauses up at the top. The longer you hold it at the top, the more challenging it's going to be. If you ever find a position that's a little bit painful, stay clear of that. Just go within a limited range of motion so that you're not going into the pain, but you're gradually expanding the range so that you're getting more pain-free range. So if it hurts right here, I'm gonna stay a little bit high and then hold it and then come out of it. Okay, so we're not trying to aggravate anything. We're trying to build strength so that we can control closer and closer to that spot. Nice job. Let's go ahead and relax and switch to the other side. Let's get set for the other side. Other leg is out in front. Get stable, and up we go. Take your time. If you need this to be easier, just reduce the range of motion or point yourself a little bit more up towards the ceiling. It's this very bottommost and very topmost position. Those two that are gonna feel the most challenging in this exercise. If you ever feel like there's just some mid-range angle that feels out of control, make sure that you spend some time there. Explore it. Be there, hold it there, and then come out. You want to get used to firing muscles in those spots that don't feel quite alive where you just don't quite feel the confidence. You want to build that confidence, build that strength. Nice job, and go ahead and relax. So let's get ready for the fire hydrant. You're gonna be on hands and knees. Use an exercise mat if you need it. If this is tough on your wrists, go on your fists or hold on to some dumbbells while you're doing this. You're going to pick the side you're gonna lift, keep your abs engaged, and then you're gonna lift that leg up and out to the side. Hold it, pause there, and come on back down. Remember to only go as high as you can go without losing good control of the rest of your body. You want to make sure you're not overarching or wobbling or twisting. Pick the angle that just seems like a natural, moderate challenge for you. You don't have to go super tight into your chest or super far away, but those are angles that you can explore as you get more comfortable and confident with this exercise. So just nice and slow and controlled. Make sure you feel those muscles on the side of your hip. Good. Minimize any twisting. And nice job. And relax. And let's go ahead and switch sides. Just go ahead and rest your wrists if you need to. Let your hip rest, because that hip's also going to be working while we're stabilizing on top of it. I'm gonna be on hands and knees again. And let's get ready to go. 60 seconds is on the clock. Here we go, lifting up. Only going as high as you can go without cheating. And slowly back down, up. Slowly back down. If you want to make this harder, you can always use an ankle weight. If you don't have an ankle weight handy, you can just hold the position longer. And make sure as you get better at this exercise, you explore different positions and angles. And really make sure that when you're doing this, you're not just tilting and twisting, but that you're actually using the muscles on the side of your hip to lift the leg up. And nice job. Take a rest.
I just want to say a big thanks to the people on screen right here. Thank you very much for your support. And if you want to support this channel too, be sure to go to uprighthealth.com/donate for all the simple, easy options. And if you haven't already, get on my newsletter. Go to uprighthealth.com/BRB and sign up to get access to a free program to help you rebuild your body at home. All right, let's get back to it.
Let's get started with the supine leg circles. You're going to hug one leg towards your chest. The other leg is going to come in and then extend up so that the leg is as straight as you can get it. And then you're going to let it go out to the side first. Here we go, 60 seconds on the clock. And we're going out and coming back in towards the midline now, slow and controlled. And then back up and out to the side. So we're only going as far as we can go while feeling like we're under control. Keep the abs engaged and making sure that your low back is pressing into the floor. If you feel any weak spots, you can hang out, just pause there, explore a little bit, see if you can get a little muscle fatigue, and then come back in. Just go at your own pace. Remember, you can use strong breathing to help you feel like your abs are staying on. If you need to, just stay higher with your circles so you don't have to go all the way down to the floor, but you can keep it up. It's nice and easy and controlled. Good job. Now we're going to reverse the direction. So get back to that starting point. And then we're going to be going down and out to the side, 60 seconds on the clock.
And down we go. Gonna explore how this circle feels, see how this direction feels. It might feel easier, it might feel harder. And again, nice and slow down, and then out to the side, keeping those abs on. Feeling those inner thigh muscles working. Should be getting a little tired. Again, if it feels like you need to be higher, just stay higher. You may not have the flexibility to get very far out to the side. That's totally fine. That will improve over time. Just try to keep it as smooth and under control as you can. Nice job, and go ahead and relax. Take a couple breaths. We're gonna slowly transition to the other side. So the leg you are working is now going to be the one closer to your chest. Then you're gonna take that other leg, lift it up, straighten the knee. And we're first gonna be going out to the side and then back into the midline. 60 seconds is on the clock. Here we go, out to the side. Only go as far as you can go while still feeling like it's under control and safe. You don't want to have anything feeling like it's gonna pop, pinch, or snap. Just stay within a controlled range of motion. Go at your own pace. Keep your abs on, low back pressed into the floor. Knee as straight as you can keep it, but don't force it if it's super uncomfortable. Again, if you find any part of this circle feels shaky or wobbly, that's actually great. Hang out there. You can come up a little higher and maybe move up and down in it a little bit. That's a spot that's just weak and you need to practice being in that position. Okay, so just nice and easy. Good job. And we'll bring it back to the center position. This time we'll be going down and out to the side. So we'll get ready for it. 60 seconds, down. Out to the side, see how this direction feels. It might be easier, it might be harder. You should be feeling the inner thigh muscles mostly working. You might feel some glutes helping to stabilize your leg, and that's good too. Just find those weak spots. If it's shaky anywhere, that's good stuff. Keep working it. Spend some time in those weak, shaky areas as you work through. If anything feels like it's gonna clunk out of place, you can be a little bit higher, keep the leg a little higher so it's not quite so unstable. And then over time, you can get a little bit lower with the leg. Nice job. Good work. You can go ahead and take a rest. All right, let's get ready for the split squat. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, focusing on using the muscles of the front leg. Down we go. Use assistance if you need it. Try to keep weight evenly through the foot. Don't let all the weight go into your heel if you can. Also, if you're just starting, the knee, just keep it over the ankle. Don't let it go in front of the toes. But as you expand your comfort and range, you can certainly go forward and deviate from that rule. So you're going down, feel the glute, feel the thigh muscles working. Really focus on all the work happening back there. Try not to use the back leg too much. Otherwise you can easily strain your knee. It's okay to use it as long as you have the strength, but it's a lot safer and easier to avoid injury by using that front leg. If you want a big stretch in that back leg, you can think about using that back leg. But down we go. And good, go ahead and relax. You're gonna switch sides, take a rest. If you feel like you need to take a longer rest, that's okay. Take a longer rest, pause this video, and then start it when you feel like your body is ready. So again, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Here we go, we're using muscles of that front leg. Really trying to feel the glutes, thighs. That back leg, we do want to be in extension as best we can. So we are getting a stretch through the hip flexors, challenging them to be longer and stronger back there. But in general, right now, really focus on the glute and that front leg. Only go as low as you can control. When you feel capable, you can do this without any help. Just try to stay steady and stable. No wobbling and falling over. Nice and controlled. Nice job. So this last exercise is extremely important for building up your backside, which is going to help you feel strong and confident throughout the day and really remove a lot of that discomfort and aching that you might get all around your hips. So you're going to take dumbbells if you have them, and if you don't, I've got an option that I'll tell you about in a second. You're going to just grab these dumbbells from an elevated surface, and then you're going to stand up, take a step back, and then you're going to keep your knees pretty straight. You don't have to lock them, and you definitely don't want to hyperextend them. You keep them pretty straight, and then you're going to keep the dumbbells close to you as you fold at the hips. So you'll notice my spine doesn't curl. I'm trying to keep it straight, and my hip is where the axis of rotation is. So there's rotation happening here, not in my spine. So I'm going down, my hamstrings are getting stretched, and then I'm using those hamstring muscles to pull me back up. If you're doing this with light weights, like 5 pounds in each hand, and you feel like you're just shaky, it doesn't feel safe, keep it on the lower end, maybe just do 5. And then as you progress, next week, maybe you can do 7, maybe you can do 8. As you get stronger with any weight, if you feel like you can get to 15, then the next week, go ahead and bump up the weight. Give yourself a little more challenge. You're not trying to become a champion power lifter or Olympic weightlifter or bodybuilder. You're just trying to wake up the muscles back here. We don't need to go crazy with it. But I do encourage you to gradually work up to being able to hold at least 20 pounds in each hand. Some people actually need to hold even more weight to build up their strength, even more in the hamstrings, before they start feeling really good and really stable in their hips. And since we are trying to stabilize your hips in many different positions, you can also play around with having a little more knee bend when you do this hip hinge or deadlift. So that's going to help you recruit your glutes and your hamstrings a little bit differently, and it will have carryover into regular life. Also, pay attention to where your weight is, whether it's in the toes or in the heels or just dead center. You actually want to have options there. When you first start, you might find it's easier to shift your weight back into your heels more, but over time, I'd like you to experiment with keeping your weight really centered so that you're not shifting all the way back, but rather staying centered over your feet. And when you go with that knees bend position, you can play around with being a little more onto the toes, the ball of the foot, because that's actually going to carry over into some more athletic endeavors, like when you're going to start running. You can also play around with how wide apart your feet are. So if your feet are like this and you're doing the hinge, that's going to affect your hamstrings differently than if your feet are totally together like this. So play around with options over time as you feel like you understand and have mastered the movement. So feel free to play around with different configurations and see where your hip muscles and your leg muscles feel really weak. And that's gonna help you build stability and comfort over time. And I also mentioned that if you don't have dumbbells right now, there are other options that you probably have at home, or you can just head on down to the supermarket and get yourself some jugs of water. And you can just start off with easy hip hinges with your jugs of water, and then gradually, as you get stronger and stronger, you can get some dumbbells. I highly recommend getting dumbbells or a cheap gym membership so you have access to progressively heavier weights. It's very important that you get up to at least 20 pounds in each hand for most people. And for some people, it's gonna be even higher, where you really start to feel the benefits of having stronger butt and hamstring muscles. So here's how you're gonna put this all together. I would encourage you to do the follow along workout and then do a set of hip hinges with weight, then go back to the beginning if you have time to do the follow along again, and then one more round of the hip hinges. If you're short on time, then just do one round of all of it, and then maybe squeeze in another set of the hip hinges after you've taken like a minute of rest. Remember not to overdo this. Don't cripple yourself with soreness. Remember that slow is safe and fast is foolish. If you try to do the whole workout plus hip hinging, deadlifting with heavy weights every single day, you will not be happy. So if you want to do these exercises more, I would say maybe 3 times a week is okay, but please pay attention to how sore you're getting, because if you overdo it and you don't allow yourself to recover, you will not be happy. Let me know how these exercises feel for you in the comment section down below, and definitely share your progress with the rest of the world so people can be inspired by your success story. Just drop comments down below. And if you want to rebuild your hips at home, go to uprighthealth.com/DIY and check out the Healthy Hips program. It will help you strengthen your hips and get your life back. I think you're going to like these videos here. Like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I hope you remember that pain sucks. Life shouldn't.